So, the thing that I feared the most that was going to happen is currently happening. It seems like Blizzard is deciding to put the WoW token within TBC, coming very soon. You could see the Wago.io link, you could see the screenshot probably right here, maybe right here on this corner of the screen. But yes, it has been found that the WoW token will be introduced into TBC. Now, this is going to cause a lot of drama. A lot of people are going to be upset about this. I can already see the comments now. I can already see the Reddit threads. I can see the twice the size guy of, my size. And I'm a pretty big dude, but I could see the guy who's on his keyboard furious right now, yelling to the top of his lungs that the WoW token is ruining Classic WoW, not my Classic, not the museum that, Blizzard pictured World of Warcraft being. But I could also see the other guy on the other side of the screen who's saying this is a good thing because they've played retail and it works with a retail model. So I could see both sides of the argument, right? And quite frankly, I don't agree with either side because, I think everybody's a bunch of retards. And especially in the Classic WoW scene, there's a lot of retards everywhere. They live amongst us, right? And that's life. But I will, take my moderate stance and say this. Quite frankly, I think it was always in the players' interest to have control of their own economies. At the same time, I think it was always in the developers', interest, in my personal opinion, to moderate those economies and be a part of your game and actually play the game, outside of just being a developer, to witness what is actually going on within Anniversary. Whether you see issues with bots, whether you see issues with RMT, whether you see issues with actual auction house manipulation, and, look into these, actual problems that players want to see addressed. Now, that's a long shot. It would never happen, right? Some people right now, they'll say, hey, he's just speaking out his ass, it'll never happen, and I get that. But that's the reality of the situation of stuff that I would personally love to see in a future of, Classic WoW, Classic Plus, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Is the GMs, the devs being involved of their own game and actually seeing the problems that are happening. Because right now, even on Anniversary, if you go and you try to play Naxxramas, you need hundreds of fucking gold in order to raid Naxxramas. The economy is so fucking bad. And especially if you wipe, if you're wiping with your guild, you need more fucking gold to buy consumes. You need a lot of gold to fucking get through these battles in order to, actually do good in your raid. Now, some people will say, no, you don't need no consumes at all. Who needs consumes for Classic WoW raids? Then please make your guild right now and have a full team of nobody using consumes and raid Naxxramas and full clear it with no issues at all. That's not majority of the gamers. Not everybody are pros like you. Those are people that will make those arguments saying that, we don't need no consumes, we need no world buffs, we could just clear Nax with no problem, just with regular, AQ gear. It's not going to happen. You're going to fall flat and you're going to regret it because it's a shit time and you're playing with shit players. It happens. I'm telling you the truth. I'm just being honest with you. No disrespect. It happens. Regardless of that. The WoW token. I genuinely believe Blizzard has no other solution. That's why they're putting the WoW token in the fucking game. They don't know how to address the bots. They know it's going to go rampant. They know, especially when people figure it out already, once they step into the dark portal and you start seeing those services go live for mages selling slave pens, selling mana tombs. They're going to be selling dungeons out the wazoo. It's going to be crazy. They know the WoW token for them might be their only solution, maybe based on data that they are seeing that, more players actually buy the WoW token more times than none. And maybe it's possible. If the WoW token is priced at a reasonable, point for a US dollar, people will invest into that WoW token more times than none because, it is gold for them. But I'll tell you right now, if that WoW token is undervalued and that WoW token does not meet the requirements of the price of the US dollar, in comparisons to what the player is getting, especially with the cost of raiding, because raiding becomes, very pricey. It becomes very pricey, and it differentiates itself once you hit TBC, especially with how potions and flask are, right? Which is at least an improvement from going into TBC in comparison to vanilla. But I'll tell you what, man, especially with no GDKPs and stuff like that, it's going to be real fucking interesting to see how things play out, because I personally think it's going to be a shit show. Because I think people are not going to be happy with the fact that the WoW token is the only solution that is involved. Players are not going to be happy with that. I think it's going to be seen more negatives than positives, unfortunately, because that's how the Classic player base is. RMT, no matter what, is still going to go rampant. And for even the side of the retail, argument, because there are retail players, that do watch the channel as well, they will say that the WoW token is something that, a lot of people do invest in on the retail side. And that's absolutely true. There's no denying that. There's also the other side of that coin, that the WoW token is 4 to 5 times less the value and just as easy to trade and manipulate with face-to-face trading, auction house trading, alternative account trading, and through mail if people just don't give a fuck. And they still do the same thing just as much as on Classic, just as much as on retail. So don't get fooled about that. People buy gold on retail, people buy gold on Classic. They're buying gold everywhere. Let's not deny this. So we can't say that the WoW token is the perfect solution, but it is a solution, right? And I don't know any other ways that we can actually do something in the Blizzard atmosphere in 2025 to really do something to change the actual decision making on players' minds, on how they feel about this whole situation. They'll probably tell you 1,000 different reasons from private servers that, oh, they should just copy this guy, they should just copy that guy. But it's clear as day Blizzard's not doing that. So, what can Blizzard exactly do themselves? Quite frankly, I've already told you what I personally feel. If you watch my videos, I think, honestly, what they need to do is have people actually involved within the game, monitor these auction houses, provide solutions, or do stuff that they did from Season of Discovery, and just up the amount of stuff that you can get from your professions. Improve professions to provide more bonuses to consumables that you create, to enchants, or whatever the fuck it is. Make professions have more value to incentivize more players investing into the profession stuff, to keep players open in the world, to keep people revisiting places in the world, and just keep it like alive, keep it fresh, keep it new. Like, advance the professions if you have to, tweak them if you have to. And I know these professions improve from vanilla WoW into TBC, but unfortunately, the economy that's coming in from Anniversary into TBC is very poisoned. It is tainted. Will it address a lot of those problems? Surely. But don't think that it still won't be tainted by the amount of players and bots, especially on that server still going into TBC. It's just going to be as bad. And that's why a lot of people asked for a fresh TBC. There is so many people that I know that want a fresh TBC. They would play, a matter of fact, World of Warcraft Classic if there was a fresh TBC announced. Even with a fresh TBC announced, there's still going to be fucking problems. And things are going to arise. And that's why I feel like it is very fucking important for Blizzard to moderate these things. To be involved. With all due respect, you can't trust people. As a matter of fact, I don't trust any fucking buddy. I really don't. I don't even like people half the fucking time, let alone trust them, being honest with you. But you gotta be involved within the scene in order to know what the hell is going on. You can't just say, oh, I just saw it from like an eagle's eye view. You know, I see what's going over there in TBC. I see the auction house. Anyways, here's the next patch after the raid. Oh, we're going to provide this at this month. And then, you know, everybody fuck off in the meantime. No, you got to be involved in the scene. See what's going on. See where your bots are fucking going at. You know, I'm sure you have programs and stuff like that, but having an actual physical presence within the fucking product, within the game, you guys actually raiding, you guys actually being a part of open world activities, PvP, whatever the fuck you're doing, is so important to your player base to know that we actually have devs on our side who give a genuine shit. And that's not saying you devs don't. Obviously, you can have these questions on whether devs care about the product or not. I obviously tell you what I like about devs. I hate certain things about devs, but at the same time, it's very important for you guys to step up and show us, you know, as your player base that cares about, you know, World of Warcraft, to see where you guys are going to take the direction of your video game. And unfortunately, this WoW token stuff, I think a lot of people are not going to be happy with it. I think a lot of people are going to express their anger. You know, people were upset and mad about the Dark Portal stuff that you did a couple years ago, and stuff that you had leading into Wrath of the Lich King, which for a lot of people feel like Wrath of the Lich King just got fucking murdered the minute you guys were introducing the WoW tokens, the minute they saw how many bots plagued Wrath as well. And I think history's gonna repeat itself here. I think we're gonna see the same shit, quite frankly. And there is no solution to it besides putting in the WoW token in Blizzard's mind, which is so unfortunate. It's just mind-blowing to me that that's the only solution, but I can't entirely hate it because they have no other choice that they are willing to make, if you get what I'm saying. Like, even if I were to say, oh, I think it's dog shit, I think it's trash, obviously, we all fucking know the simplistic stuff about it. But in reality, I don't think Blizzard's hand has any other cards left. And maybe they don't even want to choose from it at the end of the day. Maybe all of this is just the test ground to see what they can do something better in the future. I don't know what the fucking answers are. Quite frankly, maybe they just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the situation here. Maybe they just, quite frankly, do not care, you know? And listen, if that's the case, dude, fuck it. Everyone's buying WoW tokens. People are ready to be buying, you know, stuff from G2G and all these websites no matter what, dog. People ain't dumb, you know what I'm saying? People ain't stupid. People are gonna be buying their fucking gear and all that stuff from like overgear.com and all that crazy shit. People are just gonna be doing this. They're gonna be doing it. And, you know, it is what it is. That's the life of World of Warcraft in 2025, in the reality that, you know, people won't tell you, and I'm telling you right now. And you've already known this, you know, you've known this, even a player yourself. You might even be buying gold right now as we speak. Much love to you. You know what I mean? Hey, I get you. I can't hate people. I can't even hate people for buying gold anymore, to be quite frank. And you would think I do, but I don't, because Blizzard doesn't care themselves. Why the fuck would I care if a fucking company doesn't care about if people buy gold or uphold their own TOS? Why would I give a shit? I don't care what you do with your money. Do whatever the fuck you want. Send me some gold. That'd be nice. I'm not playing on Blizzard servers, so don't worry. I'm just kidding. Keep your fucking gold. But I am playing private servers. You know my thing. I do my stuff over there on Ascension. I'm having a great time over there. And I think, you know, obviously I said I wanted to talk about in another video eventually why I like Ascension so much, personally. Because I think they're doing things that solve the identity crisis with World of Warcraft, where it has too many versions and they combine everything into one. But even over there, man, I mean, you don't even need to buy a damn fucking thing. You don't need to invest into any fucking, you know, currency if you never wished to, if you never wanted to, you didn't want to donate. But meanwhile, the only thing on Blizzard's end they got going for them is a WoW token and a quote-unquote a museum to look back in time to reflect on the days of the old of TBC. And then you slap that WoW token right there. There you go. Mod on. Enjoy that one. Much love, right? Go buy that today and enjoy yourselves. Fuck GDKPs, though. We got rid of that. We got the WoW token, and we still got the token that's 3 to 4 or 5 times undervalued from websites that you can easily swipe from. And we all know this. I don't know, amigos. I mean, honestly, it's just mind-baffling to me more than anything that it's just the same shit happening over and over again. And I wonder when will, like, people wake up, you know, wake up, dog. Like, this is the situation happening once again. Here's reality. It's here, you know, the same book we've read 1,000 times is happening. What do you expect? Do you expect anything different this time around? Probably not, you know? So, it is what it is. I really hope, you know, the best for you guys over there on anniversary going into TBC. I really do wish you guys the best, because I always love Classic WoW no matter what. Even if people have their issues, they hate it, or they're not happy with current, you know, structures in the scene right now. Overall, I think it's one of the best games ever, no matter what. I truly believe Classic WoW, to its core, hands down, is one of the greatest games ever made. I love World of Warcraft. I think it's phenomenal. But I don't like the current stuff that's going on right now, personally, you know? And that's no disrespect to you guys. You don't need to agree with me. You could disagree with me. That's totally fine, too. I accept all people, right, who want to have speech here. You can do whatever you want, as long as you're being reasonable and not being fucking totally retarded. And obviously we'll have to pack your ass up with a fucking RPG from, you know, the moon. Settle down in Minecraft, of course. There can always be something else that Blizzard can do, but is Blizzard willing to do it is the question. And are they willing to conversate with their community? They don't need to conversate with me. You know, I'm not asking for a conversation. I'm over here just about to go crack open a Budweiser and go Mac for the rest of the night. You don't need to conversate with your boy, but you can go conversate with your community and actually talk with them and treat them as human beings and have general discussions about things that are not really the best scenarios right now. Answer the hard-hitting questions that we want to see from the horse's mouth, and tell us why you're deciding to reintroduce the WoW token once again, even though we know why. But we would love to see more human responses, you know? Yeah, I think you could do a better job just being a little bit more humane with your players. That's all it is. If you were to be more upfront about shit and actually answer the things we genuinely want a real response from, not some jargon edited fucking let's look at the typos, put it on ChatGPT and make sure everything's edified and you verify it before you send it out in a tweet. Like some real genuine talk, right? On how you feel about the current situations and anniversary with Naxxramas, why things cost so much fucking gold to raid, why people have to be extremely prepped, why people need to fucking invest into doing RMT in the first place, why are these websites and these different things even a thing still in 2025, and how is this gonna lead into the future for Classic Plus, especially when you have problems still relevant within a 20-plus-year-old game where you still even have buggy patches sometimes and you have problems. You had issues even in SOD when this happened, when SOD realms were crossing over into Classic realms. I mean, I'm just saying, there's gotta be something we're gonna talk about as human fucking beings here and be real with one another and actually talk about the issues with real responses. Over the top jargon style edits. I think that stuff, it's like, it's not what people want, and that's not what your Classic player base deserves. And it's not what you as a player deserve. You deserve some real fucking talk. Be honest with you. But that being said, I don't know what the solution is. I can't tell you, boys. I'm here just letting you know what's going on right now. It's going to be a thing you're going to see in TBC. Let me know your thoughts and comments below on what you think is going to be the future for, World of Warcraft. I think, quite frankly, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now is more than likely stuff we're going to see in the future. With C+, I think we're going to see the WoW token. I think we're going to see cash shops. I think we're going to see all that stuff. And obviously, maybe those shops are not such a bad thing in a way because they need funding to provide more content for Classic Plus. But at the same time, will it answer the real issue going on within current Classic right now? And that's the bot problem. And that's RMT. And that's the issues with the massive inflation with the auction house in general. I mean, there's a lot more things we can talk about, but I don't think those situations will ever get resolved as long as there is bots relevant within your game and nothing is done about it, and you have no in-game GMs and you have no people actually monitoring the situation. And I know some people will say in-game GMs don't do jack shit, but I beg to differ. When you actually have in-game GMs actually playing your game and they just go to these dungeons and you camp out and see what the people are doing, you can really monitor the situation and say, hey, that motherfucker's not real right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Or you can actually fix your dungeons and your walls and stop the fly hacking and all this fucking bullshit that happens and try to modify it or edit it if you can even touch that old code. I know the coding on Classic is very mumble jumble from what I've heard. It's very fucking wanky, or janky is the fucking word to say. But I'm just giving you my 2 cents on what I hopefully think you guys can do for the future of your Classic player base. I don't know. You guys are the devs. You tell me, or you tell the players. You tell Wowhead. You tell it on your Twitter, or whatever the fuck you guys post nowadays. You let me know. I wish the best for you, though. I'm being serious. I'm not trying to come out as a dickhead or be a complete asshole. I really wish the best for you guys over there on that dev team, because you guys going through a lot. And I'm not here to knock you. I'm not here to fucking swing at you. I'm just letting you know, as a concerned person who is a fan of World of Warcraft, I'll always care about Classic WoW. Even if I'm not a part of it, I will always care about the players over there. I will always care about the fundamental health and where the direction goes for your game, even if I'm not even a part of the scene, because I like to make comments on it. I like to bring awareness to stuff. I think it's really good to keep discussing these things, and you guys having a voice piece to hear out every now and then about these situations and have some civilized discussions in the comments below if people are capable of doing that. I know a lot of people will probably get angry 2-3 minutes into the video and start typing on how they hate me so much. That's totally fine. But I'm just saying, I think it's a perfect place to have discussion here. And hell, even for you guys, even as devs, I know you guys are not allowed to talk about a lot of things. It's totally fine. Heck, maybe you even want to shoot me a DM. My Twitter is open. It ain't getting leaked nowhere. You could shoot me DMs, and I would love to have conversations about things. If you're willing to hear us out, you're willing to have open, genuine conversation, I think it's very strong for the strength and the value of trust and also dedication to your players who genuinely care about your product and want to see how it's going to affect the future of Classic Plus in the future. And hopefully we don't see the issues that we are currently seeing now get copy and pasted into the future of where we go then. And I think that's where we end the video and go from there. Much love to you, amigos. Keep on keeping on. All that good stuff. I'll be live on Kick, Twitch, YouTube. You know the fucking deal. Come support the Kick more than anything. Kick is really great. I'm not gonna lie. They pay your boy the best. I'm not gonna lie to you. 95% payouts. I can go to Wendy's and we can get way more burgers and pack ourselves up by 40 or 50. We'll see what happens. Much love to you. I'll catch you on the next one. I never know how to end these fucking videos. Peace out, bitch.
What should I say?